If you feel like the truth is being kept from us, know that you're not alone. I'm Detective Ozma, and my mission is to dig up the evidence behind the mysteries they want to bury. Today, I'm opening a file that didn't start with a blurry video on the internet. It started inside a U.S. Navy carrier strike group, with trained operators watching their instruments report something that shouldn't have been there, day after day, until the moment pilots were finally sent to look with their own eyes. November 2004, off the coast of Southern California. A routine training cycle suddenly shifts into something else when multiple systems begin tracking unknown contacts behaving in ways no one in the group can easily classify. Then a single visual intercept turns a week of strange tracks into a 5-minute encounter that still sits at the center of modern UAP debate. When I opened the case file, the same structure kept repeating: instruments, witnesses, and official acknowledgments, each one adding weight, and each one raising a different kind of question. Evidence 1: Days of anomalous radar tracks. In the days leading up to November 14, 2004, personnel aboard the USS Princeton reported repeated detections of multiple unknown contacts on the ship's radar systems. According to accounts attributed to radar operators and technicians, the contacts appeared in groups, shifted between very high altitudes and lower levels, and behaved inconsistently with typical aircraft profiles. Crucially, one of the technical details that stands out comes from the reported decision to recalibrate systems after ghost tracks were suspected. In those accounts, the recalibration did not remove the contacts, it made them clearer. That detail matters because it frames the mystery as something that persisted even after the crew assumed it might be a sensor issue. This point is grounded in reported testimony from personnel who said they worked directly with the radar and combat systems during that period. Evidence 2: The visual intercept and the Tic Tac. On November 14, during a training exercise, 2 FA-18F Super Hornets were redirected to investigate one of the contacts. According to the later statements of Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, they arrived at the designated area and noticed a disturbance in the ocean surface, described as a patch of whitewater, and above it a small white object with an elongated, smooth shape, commonly described as Tic Tac-like. By their testimony, the object had no visible wings, no markings, and no obvious exhaust. They also stated that when Fravor maneuvered to get closer, the object appeared to mirror his movements, as if responding to the intercept. The encounter lasted several minutes, with 4 crew members across the 2 aircraft observing. This is direct eyewitness testimony from the pilots involved. Evidence 3: The reappearance at the CAP point. One of the most specific operational details in the file is what happened after the object accelerated away. According to accounts attributed to the pilots and to ship-based tracking, the contact disappeared from visual range and was then detected again at the CAP point, a predetermined rendezvous location for the jets, roughly 60 miles away, and in a time window described as extraordinarily short. In the way the story is typically told by those involved, the significance is not just speed, it's the implication that the object appeared where the pilots were going next, without an obvious path connecting the 2 points. This element is based on reported radar tracking accounts and the pilot's narrative of the intercept timeline. Evidence 4: The FLIR 1 recording and claims of jamming. Later that day, another flight launched, and Lieutenant Commander Chad Underwood captured the now famous infrared video commonly referred to as FLIR 1. The Pentagon later acknowledged and officially released UAP footage in 2020, including the clip associated with the 2004 encounter. In addition to the video itself, the file includes a claim attributed to Underwood that the object displayed signs consistent with electronic interference or jamming against the aircraft's systems. That jamming detail is important, but it must be treated as what it is, a reported interpretation from a witness, not a confirmed technical conclusion released in a public data package. So here, the evidence is two-layered: an officially released video exists, and there are also witness claims about what their systems were experiencing during the attempt to track the object. And if you've made it this far into the case, you're clearly someone who wants the full picture, the pieces they don't put together for us. So stay close to the investigation. Make sure you're subscribed, because the next files connect in ways most people never realize until it's too late. Evidence 5: multi-source corroboration and the no conventional signature problem. A recurring theme across the Nimitz accounts is corroboration across different platforms, ship radar detections, pilot visuals, and sensor recordings. In the file's framing, this redundancy is presented as the reason the event can't be dismissed as a single bad instrument. At the same time, several of the most dramatic performance claims, extreme accelerations, rapid altitude changes, and lack of a conventional heat signature, come primarily from testimony and interpretations of sensor behavior, rather than from a full set of raw data being publicly available for independent review. So the evidentiary weight here is real but bounded. Multiple trained personnel across different roles say they tracked something unusual, and the lack of obvious propulsion features is part of their consistent description, yet the public record does not include complete underlying sensor datasets that would allow outside analysts to settle every detail. Evidence 6, Official recognition and the public timeline. Unlike many older UFO cases, this one eventually entered official public channels. The file highlights a progression. The story remained largely obscure for years, then gained major attention after public reporting in 2017 connected the incident to broader Pentagon interest in UAP-related material, followed by the Pentagon's official release of UAP videos in 2020 with the statement that the phenomena remained unidentified, and later public hearings in 2023 where David Fravor again described the encounter under oath. Whatever one concludes about the nature of the object, this public timeline is a concrete marker. The incident moved from internal accounts and leaked discussion into formal government-facing acknowledgement and testimony. As I go through this file, two main interpretations form in front of me. Hypothesis 1, the conventional/cautious interpretation. In this view, the incident is a layered event, unusual radar returns, a visually ambiguous target, and sensor footage that can be difficult to interpret without full context. Some analysts argue that factors like sensor limitations, geometry, tracking artifacts, and perceptual effects can exaggerate apparent speed or motion, especially in infrared and long-range targeting systems. Under this interpretation, the event remains unidentified not because it proves a breakthrough vehicle, but because the available public data is insufficient to confidently classify what was seen. Hypothesis 2, the unresolved interpretation. This view starts from the combined weight of professional observers and multiple systems reporting the same kind of anomaly across several days, culminating in a close-range pilot encounter. Supporters of this interpretation argue that the object's reported behavior, especially the rapid departure and the reappearance at a predetermined point, is difficult to reconcile with ordinary aircraft, balloons, or routine training artifacts. Some also point to claims from ship personnel that sensitive data was collected afterward by outside individuals, suggesting the possibility of classified handling of the event's most complete records, a claim that remains unverified publicly and should be treated as testimony, not established fact. Either way, the core problem remains the same. The incident is widely discussed, partially documented, and officially acknowledged as unidentified, yet the most decisive technical records, if they exist in full fidelity, are not available for independent confirmation. I'm Detective Ozma, and I'll keep gathering every fragment, every voice, every piece of evidence they try to erase. Many stories get buried, but never forever. If you, or someone you know, has ever witnessed something unexplainable, leave your story in the comments. Or, if you'd rather stay anonymous, send it to the email pinned in the comments. Who knows, maybe the next file I open will be yours.